Good afternoon. I call to order the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners regular meeting, May the 13th. Good afternoon, Madam Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're going to start as we always do with silent prayer. And I would ask, as you go into prayer for a moment, that you think about the babies that we have lost recently, just in our county. They had only begun to live, and who knows what their life would have looked like. So I just ask for a moment of prayer for them. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America,
and
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves,
Yes.
Commissioner Greenhouse.
Yes.
Thank you. And Bridget, do we have any public waiting for to make comments?
I don't believe we do, Madam Commissioner.
Thank you so much. So we'll move on to comments and motions. Vice President Reese, do you have any comments?
Yes, Madam President, I have a comment and a motion. One is today is 513 day, and had a great press conference today. Get Your Sensi On that came out today with a great video. I encourage everyone to take a look at it. It was great, and to support local businesses, and so it's a great one. Hopefully people will get a chance to see it. We'll be able to put it on our 513.org possibly, that people can get. We also got a chance to hear from small businesses who benefited from getting assistance, and so now they got assistance. Now we need people to go and go out in a safe way, but to patronize their businesses. So that was great, and I know Bridget Daughtry put that together on our behalf, and just want to tell her a very good job she did. Second is the shots. Get the shot. I mean, the shots are out there. We're getting a lot more creative. This Sunday is the opening day for FC Cincinnati, and they have a pre-event at Washington Park. And so Kate Schroeder, Regina Russo, and everyone, along with Health Commissioner Moore from the city, we'll have one of the mobile pop-up sites at Washington Park. You can get the shot. Also want to thank, they have shots at a lot of different places. Silverton, I believe, is this week. We've been to Indian Hill. We've been to the movie theaters. We'll be at Golf Manor also this week, pulling up. And also want to thank Holy Grail on the Banks. They had a pop-up with Mercy Health, and I had a chance to go down there, and a lot of the workers on the banks were able to come in and get shots, as well as anyone who wanted to walk in. So really having it out there in a very creative way, and you can walk up, you don't need an appointment. So people can go to 513 Relief to get more information about where we will be. So I'm excited about that, and the fact that our temporary bus should be coming in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to also help with doing some fun, exciting things for people to get the shot. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, I do have a motion that I'm just submitting on the record as we look at our rescue dollars and what we're going to do as we move forward. I have a homeowner retention and anti-foreclosure motion. I've been talking about that for a while, having a homeowner component. And I would like to have the administration look into the possibility of a plan to provide tax release to homeowners in Hamilton County to include funding what was known as the stadium property tax rollback that many people were promised. And now knowing that that fund is called a housing assistance fund may give us an opportunity to do that. But wanted to, as the administration makes their reports to us, I'd like to look at the possibility of that. I know that I did have a conversation with our auditor so a little while back about what could be done. And I know that he submitted something to us, and the fact that it is a housing assistance fund, that might give us an opportunity there. And if it is an opportunity, I think we should certainly take a look at trying to do that to help people stay in their homes. And then I further moved that the administration explore the possibility of a home ownership fund to assist Hamilton County homeowners with mortgage assistance. I know we did a lot of rental assistance last time, and some of the feedback I got now, how do we help homeowners that can stay in their homes, especially with the assessments going up, et cetera. And so would like to have that added to the presentation that the administration makes to us on the American Rescue Dollars, and if there might be another way that this can be achieved. I've talked to Administrator Jeff Aludo about this many times, even before we had American Rescue Dollars. So just wanted to have that on the table to be a part of our discussion as we make our final decisions. So that's all that I have for today. Thanks.
Thank you. Jeff, did you want to make a comment as it relates to Vice President Reese's comments?
No, nothing particular, Madam President. Commissioner Reese and I have talked about the PTR. I know she's been interested in that issue, and it's been something we've been in discussion with since she's come on board. I would just say at this point we are looking broadly at the guidance related to the American Rescue Plan, and that does include a lot of language around the issue of how dollars can or can't be used to subsidize tax reductions or the delay of a tax. So I think this would be probably part of our analysis in due course. So long as the board understands, we would be reporting back to you on that as we get back to you with broader guidance and recommendations on this.
Thank you. And certainly we don't want to leave anything off the table. We want to, following the guidelines, put whatever we can on the table. And certainly home ownership is really important. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just comment to that real quickly because I got a press call about this. And I told them that two things. One is, of course, it has to qualify, and Jeff just alluded to that. And the other thing is that I think the homeowner assistance that we're thinking through, it needs to be targeted to those that were impacted by the pandemic. And so I would just want to make sure that we're hitting the mark on that count. And so maybe this is part of that. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I think more research has to be done on it. But I think we have all three talked about how, homeowner assistance to keep folks in their homes is going to be really important. It's just a matter of how we figure out how to do that. So I am supportive of the notion of it. And I did respond to the auditor and told him thank you for his suggestion because, Madam President, as you say, everything should be on the table. And I'll look forward to hearing more and especially hearing more through the public hearings. So I too wanted to mention Get Your Cincy On. That the press conference was great. The videos are really fantastic. There are these influencers in our region that are encouraging people to go out, be safe, but once again, start to visit all the great attractions and restaurants and bars and everything that we have to offer in this area. We did the announcement on 513, which is kind of a fun date to do something like that on. And so it went really well. I too want to thank Bridget Doherty and the team over at CVB for helping put that together. It was really, really well done and kind of a fun. The Graduate, by the way, the hotel where we had it is spectacular. I haven't been there recently, and it is just really something to see. So it was a fun venue to have it in. And the last thing, I did represent the commission at a ribbon cutting over the weekend. On Saturday, it was a ribbon cutting for the Ohio River Trail. So there's a lot of activity connecting trails from one to the next, and we're kind of moving broadly throughout the county. And so there was a ribbon cutting. We, through the TID, we were the last money in for this project in conjunction with the city of Cincinnati, with Anderson Township, the Tri-State Trails, Green Umbrella. But we, as you may recall, I think it was about 700,000 that we put into this effort a few years ago. And so it's finally come to fruition. And so I did represent us out there and thanked everyone for the partnership to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the representation. Just a couple comments. I also thank the CVB for Get Your Cincy On. They were able to accommodate a video that I was able to do because I had back-to-back meetings this morning. So I'm sure it was a great time. I just wanted to mention about Senate Bill 17 is coming up, is being debated as it relates to counties' job and family services departments. Since 2010, there's been a $48 million cut in job and family services, just totally. But the caseloads have increased almost 75% for people that are working within job and family services. So, and there are new mandates that are coming out through Senate 17. So I just want people to be aware, be alert. If you want to make some comments as it relates to that Senate bill, please do so, because we know that people that are working with children and adults are overloaded with their caseload. And so then to add additional administrative responsibilities is really going to be hard to do without additional monies. And I'd like to also talk about the American Rescue Plan. Everyone's been asking about when are we going to have a date for the public hearing, and not to keep people are anxious about it. They want to give their input on their agency, just individually, what they think should be included in those monies. So we have scheduled Tuesday, May the 25th, which is our regular meeting, to have also a public hearing during that time. We also want to have an evening meeting. We had looked at an evening meeting. Sounds like we're not all going to be able to make it for that evening coming up, but it will be very soon, and I'll get with the offices to see if another evening is better. I know we have an evening meeting in Blue Ash on the 20th, but I didn't want to combine our visit with them with the public hearing. So very quickly after the one on Tuesday, the 25th, during our regular meeting, we will have an evening meeting following that in the next few days. And I think that's all that I had. Any questions about what I said about anything? No? We'll move forward with Jeff Aludo, our administrator.
Thank you, Madam President. Also happy to be down at the Graduate Hotel today for the kickoff of the Get Your Cincy On campaign. It was, as all three commissioners indicated, it was a fun event. Just two additional, really one comment, really, it's on the same topic. Just wanted to welcome a couple of people aboard. I think since last year, as we held off on hiring certain positions, we had various positions in the budget that when COVID happened, we held off on hiring when those positions were vacant. And so now that we're into 2021, we are moving forward with some of those. So I just wanted to welcome a couple of people aboard. One is Cheryl Floyd, who is we've brought on board as a grants manager and a budget analyst. So I'd be a new face on the sixth floor. Just wanted the commissioners to be aware. We'll be bringing her around to introduce her to each office, as well as Aisha Howard, who I don't think I formally introduced at this meeting in the past, who is our community engagement coordinator in our Office of Economic Equity and Inclusion. So just wanted to welcome both of those individuals aboard. And we've got a couple of other positions we'll be hiring for in the administration, again, all associated with positions that were in the budget that we just weren't able to move forward with last year. But certainly we'll take those folks around, introduce them to the commission offices when they do come on board. And that's all I had for by leave comments today, Madam President.
Okay, that's all you have.
That's all I have. No formal buy leave items today.
Okay, very good. So we'll move forward to our regular agenda items. I realize I look like a pastor with this white collar. That's not too bad. But anyway, let's move on to our regular agenda items. Mr. Beck, how are you?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I had the pleasure of joining Commissioner Dreehouse on Saturday morning at the ribbon cutting, and it's always good to get some of these sections of bike trail filled in, and we're getting there in Hamilton County. It's really looking good, and we're making progress. So that was a good event to attend.
Hmm.
So we have two items today. The first one is a resolution authorizing a joint agreement between Hamilton County and the city of Springdale for the application to the Ohio Public Works Commission for funds for improvements to the East Kemper Road Bridge over the CSX Railroad. This agreement outlines what the splits will be for the construction funding as well as the engineering. The estimated cost is $902,341, of which 50% would be an OPWC grant, $301,171 from the city of Springdale, and $150,000 from the Hamilton County Permissive Auto Funds. And then the engineering is a 50-50 split with Springdale, and that is approximately $26,000 from Permissive Auto Funds.
Thank you. I really like how we leverage those dollars in those grants. So thank you so much. I'll open it up. Vice President Reese, any comments or questions?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Sounds like a great partnership.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 1.
Second.
Sorry, Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution determining necessity for and concluding that no land or property will be damaged for the public conveyance project for resurfacing in 2021 guardrail program located in various townships throughout the county. This is our annual guardrail replacement program. The current engineer's estimate is $270,000, and this would allow us to go to bid on this project.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Beck. Any questions or comments, Vice President Reese?
Nope.
Okay. Commissioner Dreehouse.
No questions.
Okay. Make a motion to adopt item 2.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item number 3 is the MSD item. Who's speaking on that? I noticed that we only need to submit it for the record, but I didn't know if anyone.
Yeah, Madam President, this is just submitted for the record. This just is indicating the public notice for the NPD, the next NPDE as permit for the Sycamore Creek wastewater treatment plant. There is a public notice period that runs from May 3rd through June 3rd on this. I believe OEPA will hold a public hearing if there is significant interest. Otherwise, I don't know that they will. So they're in the middle of that public comment period right now. This is just to receive that notice for the record.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I'm going to ask if there are any questions because that's what I do. So Vice President Reese.
No questions.
Okay, Commissioner Dreehouse.
No questions.
Thank you. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt, well, not to adopt, but submit to the record item 3.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So we'll move right into our consent agenda items. Let me put my glasses on. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the ones we have before us. Item 5, 6, and 7, and 8 are for adoption. And they include a resolution that's amending the CARES Act plan and reallocating coronavirus relief fund for navigation assistance. And it also includes under administration a settlement for a civil action pending now in Common Pleas Court. And then we have an item from JFS for residential, actually 2 items, residential treatment services and a resolution for foster care. And under accepting for the record, we have item 4, which is bid awards and contracts by the purchasing department for April of 2021. So I will open it up if there are any questions or comments. Vice President Reese.
Yes, Madam President. Item number 5, I just wanted to bring attention to. It's funding for the navigators that we had originally said was very much necessary. We have 2 sets of navigators. I think one that would deal directly with, people who are calling that need rental assistance or food assistance or wherever they need to go. And it's a person they can talk to and they can navigate them to the right place and then give us a report on how many people called, what did they call for. And we did a test case during the relief-a-thon and we got the report showing what, majority of people are calling for. But on the small business side, it's a little more technical. So if you're a small business, it's just, anybody answering the phone just can't assist you. And I think this is a great tool to help small businesses, and something that we heard, we have a lot of small or micro businesses that, just have never had to access help before. And so this helps, I think, save them on time, as well as provide expertise. So I'm happy to see this come forward. And I think this would be a good thing to help some of these, smaller restaurant owners or micro business people who don't know, do I qualify for these type of things? I'm hearing about them. And if so, when do I go or how do I go? It will just help cut down on time for them. And also, I think, help them to access more funding things that are out there. So again, I think this is really good. People see a lot on the internet and not sure, they're hearing stuff coming from Washington, but does that apply to me? And I think this is a real good tool to help them. So anyway, I wanted to highlight that this is in this consent piece that we're voting on today. And I think it's very important. So thank you.
And thanks for bringing that up, because really the small business, really small businesses are my focus as it relates to even the American Rescue Plan, that we don't miss those ones that we happen to see on the news coverage or whatever. We've just got to figure out how do we get to those little agencies or businesses that are doing, like I said, great things. So thank you for your comments. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, just to piggyback a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a great add-on to what we did last time, trying to help businesses get some dollars from the CARES Act. As was noted earlier today at the press conference, we did help 800 businesses, and we didn't turn anybody away that was eligible. So I think it's important to note that, but we've got another round coming. And so I'm sure that these dollars will be very helpful in once again helping those small businesses access the funds from Hamilton County. So I too am very supportive of this.
And Madam President, if I
Yes.
could just briefly, just a little bit of a nuance on this. Number one, just to echo what all 3 commissioners have said, this ultimately will facilitate a contract that allows us to have navigators who are specifically and uniquely skilled in all of the business programs that are out there. We've got some wonderfully talented navigators at the United Way who can help with you get people into the right lanes for residential type assistance, homeowners, food assistance, food benefits, that type of thing. But the programs for small business assistance are complicated. And when you're trying to run a small business at the same time, trying to navigate how to go about getting this assistance, it's really tough. And we heard stories from folks who just weren't able to get things submitted because they just didn't have the time to navigate all the instructions, et cetera. So this is going to be, this amendment to the CARES Act plan will facilitate a contract that will likely be coming in the next couple of weeks to the board with an entity that can help provide that technical assistance directly to people looking for it. So just wanted to tag on to that in particular to indicate to the board that this is step 1 of step 2. The contract should be coming forward in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be on a regular consent agenda, hopefully by the end of this month.
Thank you.
welcome.
So I'd like to make a motion to accept for the record item 4 and to adopt items 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now we have our executive sessions. Before we go into our executive session, I just want to make sure there's nothing else because we don't often come back so the public can see us after that. Is there anything that you'd like to add before we make our motion for executive session? Vice President Reese.
No, I think that's it for today.
Okay. Commissioner Dreehouse.
No, I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. So let's make a motion for our executive session. Executive session pursuant to RC section 121.22G3 to conduct a conference with an attorney for the public body concerning MSD. I'll make a
Second.
motion. Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you. Also make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to RC section 121.22G4 regarding collective bargaining.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.